Welcome! So you made it into UNC. Congratulations. But now you need to apply for housing. Let me help you with that. Start by going to unco.edu/housing. There is a list on the side with several different options, and the first, Apply for Housing, is the one you're going to want to click on. Here, you'll be able to find frequently asked questions. So the answers to questions such as, what is the requirement for living on campus? What is the deadline for application? Can you cancel your contract? And so on. There's also information on finding a roommate, internet access, mail, the rules for room furnishings and decorations, safety on campus, semester breaks, and upperclassmen housing options. It is a veritable treasure trove of information. Next, there is the instructions. This will give you instructions on how to apply for university housing, but since you're watching this lovely tutorial, you may not need this. However, if you do prefer written instructions, they are available online. What you're going to want to do first is log in. You'll do this by entering your Bear ID and password, which is the same as your Bear email and password. Once you've completed that, you're going to want to hit Submit. Here you're going to want to choose the first application under Academic Year Residence Hall, which is the new application for academic year 2015 to 2016. This will take you to the Terms and Conditions page, where you'll be able to read through your housing contract terms and conditions, such as eligibility and so on. Once you've read through and you agree with the terms and conditions, go ahead and hit I agree. There are 5 steps to applying, and the first is verifying personal and address information. So your first and last name and your current home address will be available on the application already since they got this from your UNC application. But you're able to put your preferred name. So I'll put my preferred name, which is Claus Thebier, which is French for the bear. They'll have your email, your university classification, so I'm a junior right now apparently, and Claus the bear is a junior, and you're going to want to put in your cell phone number, so 555-555-5555, and your student preferred email address. So I'll be using my bear email. You can also use your regular email, so bear1234@bears.unco.edu. It will also ask if you've had your meningitis vaccine, so you'll have to choose yes or no. And if you're a Colorado resident, it'll ask if you've filled out your college opportunity fund, so select yes or no. Then you'll need to put in your emergency contact information, so I'll put Mama Thebier's name. She is my parent guardian, and my relationship with her is that she's my mother. I'll also put in my parent guardian's cell phone, so Mama Thebier's number is 555-555-1234, and her email address is mamathebier637@work.com. Once you've filled out all this information, go ahead and hit Next. You'll be brought to Step 2, Preferences and Accommodations. Now, the following questions are for preferences only. This will be used by the office to assist in the roommate matching process. So there's residential learning communities, but you'll need to make sure you have a corresponding major for that community. You can choose biology, business, elementary education. I'll choose performing and visual arts as my first option and pre-health as my second option. There's also themed living options, and themed living options allow students to explore the theme through volunteering, faculty and staff interaction, and more. There's several different themes, so female, first generation, gender inclusive, pet friendly, spectrum, upper division, and transfer. Go ahead and choose the ones that apply best to you, and this will help with the room sorting. So I'll be choosing leadership, pet friendly, and first generation. There's also a gender-inclusive housing option at the University of Northern Colorado, which allows students of different genders to live together in the same room. This is ideal for students whose gender identification or gender expression varies from the binary gender paradigm, or for students who are uncomfortable with living with roommates of the same biological sex. Both roommates have to be in agreement for this to work, so go ahead and choose no and move on to the next questions if that's your preference, or if yes, enter the name of who you'd prefer to be your gender-inclusive roommate. The next are American Disabilities Act requirements. If you need special accommodations, this is where you would enter those. And then choose the disability or medical condition that you need accommodations for. If the answer is no, you can move on to the next questions. If the answer is yes, you can then go on to choose what amenities you need. There are several options such as handheld shower heads, handrails by toilets, automatic door openers, lowered light switches, barrier-free wardrobe, fire alarm with strobe lights, braille labels, or single rooms. And you can choose up to 6 of these choices. So, for example, I could choose a single room. I could also choose lever or paddle handle on entry door, and I could choose barrier-free desks, and then choose what side of campus you would prefer to live on, so Central or West Campus. Next, you'll choose your meal plan options. There are several different options, but the most common is the 19 meals plan, which means that you will have a swipe for every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you can choose to add more dining dollars, which are available which you can use at the coffee corners, Munchie Marts, or at certain vending machines. So if you'd like to add more, you can, or you can choose that there are no additional dining dollars desired. Then go ahead and hit next. Step 3 is the roommate matching survey. So this will help the office choose which roommate might match you best with questions like, do you smoke? How late you prefer to stay up and when you like to sleep until, what music you like to listen to. There's several different varieties, so easy listening, hip-hop, indie, jazz, Latin, metal, new age, non-secular, punk, R&B, rap, reggae, and so on. I'll choose Broadway musicals just for fun. And then how you like to listen to your music, so loudly with headphones or moderately. What time of day you anticipate your TV, entertainment center, or stereo might be on, and how clean you expect your room to be. So if you're cluttered, put cluttered. If you're very, very organized, put spotless. And how often you anticipate you will be cleaning your space. So additionally, there'll be a preference for how you like to keep your room. So if you like to keep your room cool, choose that. If you have no preference, choose that. And how much of your personal stuff you might anticipate to share. There are several options. I'll choose some of my stuff. Also, you can put your preferences for study practices. So if you usually expect to study in your room, go ahead and put yes. If not, put no. Do you like to study with music or television? Choose between yes or no. And do you mind if your roommate studies with music or television? Where do you anticipate you'll study? Will you be mostly in your room, at the library, in a coffee shop? Go ahead and choose what option you think will most likely apply to you and how often you will be studying per week. Go ahead and hit next. Step 4 or 5 is the signature. So by hitting I agree, you are essentially signing your housing contract. And the 5th step is to pay. There is a $200 deposit that covers any damages that might occur to the room over the course of the year. And you can pay by credit card or you can choose pay later. And that is it. Thank you for watching, and I hope I helped you figure out how to apply for housing.